Hey guys, what is up? My name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and welcome to today's video, which is my attempt at a reasonable TBR for the middle grade books I want to get to this fall, as well as some more middle grade new releases that are coming out in the next few months that I want to get to and that I hadn't heard of, so I want to share them with you guys. Some of them are spooky, some are dragon related, so I'm going to start with the books on my physical TBR and then move my way over to my anticipated releases or books that are on my radar for the fall months. Without further ado, let's hop on in. So the first book on my TBR was really a no-brainer because it is called Read, Scream, Repeat by Jennifer Tillich. Well, technically it is curated by her because this is a collection of short stories by middle grade authors that are all like spooky for the Halloween season. Like you can tell, sorry, this is very, the lighting is intense here, but like it feels very spooky, and I'm interested in this because I don't think I've read any single one of these authors before, so it might put me onto new authors, and it's also a way for me to kind of like celebrate Halloween. I'm not a big Halloween girl, but I'm trying to like it, and I think this could be a fun one. So I can't really give you a specific synopsis for this one. It's just a bunch of different short stories, and I'm excited. There's 13 of them because 13 is a spooky number. So yeah, first one on my TBR. Would really want to get to this because I did not get to it last year and I have been waiting an entire year to read it. So it's time. Then we have Arcspire by Jamie Littler, which another cover which I really love with beautiful sprayed edges. This feels very fall to me from what I understand of Arcspire, which Arcspire is written by the same author as Frostheart, for those of you who didn't know. This is about a young girl named Juniper Bell? Yes, Juniper Bell. And in the world where she lives, everything is controlled by 5 arcanists who are like magical beings with superpowers, and essentially all seems well. Like nobody, I think, really questions that, but for a certain reason, our main character ends up with powers, and she ends up realizing that these 5 people are not what they seem to be, and she needs to go on an adventure. I'm assuming it's kind of like a chosen one thing where she ends up with powers and has to save either the town or something. It is the first book in a series, and just like the aspect of there being like magical beings and just the whole vibe for me feels like fall. And also I have the second book, so I really need to get to it. It sounds like a fun adventure. I really love adventure books in the fall. It's blurbed by 2 of my favorite authors, so I think it's a pretty good shout. The next book I want to read is Ember Spark and the Thunder of Dragons by Abby Alphastone. This is a shorter middle grade book, but one I am so excited about because our main character in this becomes the apprentice to a magical beast's vet. Can you imagine the plot we're going on? Like our main character is called Ember Sparks, and she's looking for an adventure, and so she obviously becomes the apprentice, and it's just, I think it's younger middle grade, but nonetheless super excited. This is also the first book in a series. I think the second book has come out or is coming out very soon, so I want to make my head on whether I like it or not. Also, dragons, there's gonna be dragons in here, and I am all over dragons in middle grade books, so this is a priority for me. The next book I have I've talked about a lot but still haven't read, and that is Spellstone by Ross Montgomery, who is a very well-known author in the middle grade community. And this book is about a young girl named Evie who is very much always overlooked and very ordinary, and that kind of becomes her superpower because she is recruited to the Order of the Stone, which is a magical organization, and I think that her going unnoticed is going to play in her favor. And obviously it's kind of, again, a chosen one where she has to go on this adventure to defeat an evil, but the fact that she's part of a magical organization kind of rings like Amari and the Night Brother bells, and just like so many of the other middle grade books I love, and I think we're gonna see a lot of that magical organization, though I do think this is a standalone, so I'm interested to see how much we get in a short book. But again, feels very fall because magical organizations is kind of my version of dark academia. It's magical organization fall. Not as catchy. Another book I think I mentioned in my TBR for Everbloom is a book I'm not sure if I'm going to get to or not because I have other books that I have prioritized, but it is Beneath the Swirling Sky by Carolyn Leilu. I'm never sure how to pronounce this author's last name, and it is a book that was shown to me by a patron of mine. The only way I really know how to pitch this book is if Pages & Co. was a book, but instead of books, it was paintings. So we have a main character who goes in and out of paintings, and I'm assuming we go into the world of those paintings, and the main character is called Vincent, and I think that is such a clever reference, and anything slightly close to Pages & Co., which I know Pages & Co. is also inspired by other things like Inkheart, but my love is Pages & Co., and anything that can give me even a resemblance to it, I will read. And so this, again, I associate Pages & Co. with fall, so I also associate this book with the fall. I can't make the rules. And the last book I have on my physical TBR that I really want to get to is The Secret Dead Club. And it's essentially about a young girl who sees ghosts. And I think it's like a family thing, but like in her family, people see ghosts until they reach their teenage years, and then it just goes away. So our main character's like, I'm just waiting for this to go away. But then I believe she might encounter other young girls at this new school where she is that also see ghosts. And then they have the Secret Dead Club. And I'm assuming shit's gonna hit the fan. And it sounds wonderful. Yeah, there's a violent ghost and he threatens our main character. It sounds so fun. I am not able to handle actually scary books, so this is like my version of scary, and I'm gonna have a grand old time. So these are the books that I have on my TBR physically that I would like to read. Beautiful. Now let's talk about the books that I want to read that I don't actually own yet or have not even released yet. The first book I am anticipating actually comes out on September 17th, so like it's basically almost out or out by the time you see this video. It's called Camp Twisted Pine by Sierra Birch, and it's pitched as Whispering Pines meets Small Spaces. It's a middle grade spooky book, and it is set in a summer camp, which I think is fantastic. Basically, we have a main character who loves nature in theory. She loves to read about nature in books, but she's not an actual like let's go outside and do things kind of girly. And then her parents decide to get divorced, and they send her and her siblings at a summer camp while they figure things out. And so our main character needs to like figure the stuff out, and then creepy things start happening at the camp. But there's also diversity in here. I think there's a main character who is hard of hearing. She uses a hearing aid, and she becomes friends with our main character, and it's just, I think it's gonna be both spooky, inclusive, and also have discussions on like parents splitting up and changes in your life. And I think it's going to be both hard-hitting and really like kind of campy all at once, and I can't wait to see how I feel about it. The next book I want to talk about is one that like I can't even believe I didn't know it existed, because, well, it's not existing yet, but it is coming out on October 1st, folks. And I've been counting down the days because this has the potential to become my next obsession. It kind of reminds me of how obsessive I am with Skandar. This is the next book. Not in the Skandar series, but the next thing I'm assuming I'll be obsessed with. It is called The Last Dragon on Mars, and it is pitched as a boy living on Mars unexpectedly becomes a dragon rider in this first book in the sci-fi and fantasy mashup, the Dragon Ship series, sure to delight fans of Skandar and Aragon. It also has a first printing special edition thing with sprayed edges and a reversed jacket image. Since when do middle grades outside of the UK get this sort of treatment? I'm assuming it's because we assume that this is gonna be a hit, folks. And I don't know if this author is known for anything else. I saw this and I was like, pre-order. I'm just crossing my fingers it actually ends up being a 5-star, but either way, folks, know it exists, know I will be reading it, and know there will be a review up on my channel, of course. We have another ghosty book, which is the Misadventures in Ghost Hunting, which follows a main character who sees ghosts, and I don't think her parents are aware, and in that, it kind of reminds me of the City of Bones? What is it? City of Ghosts series by V.E. Schwab. And it just sounds like our main character is going through a lot with her family. She's struggling in class and she sees ghosts and she kind of has to deal with all of it. And yeah, it just, I don't really know how to sum up this book more than that. Yeah, it's out already. It came out not too long ago. It's a paperback book and right now it's on heavy sale and I'm resisting the urge to just click buy now. But just know it's coming out. We then have another kind of book. It is A Fox Goes North by Jeremy Strong. I was first very much like intrigued because of the beautiful cover. And then I learned that it's pitched as Winnie the Pooh meets The Boy, the Mole, and the Fox. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, which is a children's fable, and it is like highly illustrated in black and blue coloring, and is going to be a hardback. So it basically is a children's fable, of friendship and hope that is a blend between Winnie the Pooh and that really sad The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse book. I don't think it's like an actual like very long book. I can't see the page count for some reason, but it's out by Scholastic on October 10th, and I think it's either going to be a fall read for me or this one might be slotted into the winter months, but it might be like a perfect November read, so technically still fall. And the last book I want to talk about in this video is the Grisbane Family Witch Hunters, which this one came out on August 20th, and it is pitched as Wednesday meets Jodie Anderson's The Memory Thief in this creepy and high-stakes middle-grade adventure about a girl's quest to save her cursed brother and takes her through perilous, monster-filled woods. So it's another spooky middle grade that I think would be really fun. I don't do a lot of like cursed siblings or just like breaking curses in general, but this one, because it's middle grade, I feel could be a little bit more intriguing to me. This is one I'm unsure about, but I wanted to mention in this video because I know a lot of you guys will be intrigued by this. So that is all for my list of books. I think it is more than enough. Realistically, I don't know if I'll get to all of these, but I still had to narrow this down because my initial list was even more obnoxious. So yeah, let me know what you want me to prioritize, what I should make full reviews for or full reading vlogs, and also let me know what middle grade books you are planning to read this fall if you plan on reading any. And I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye guys, happy reading.